Hello, my name is Roger Bauer, and for the last 5 years I've been helping small business owners just like you improve their online visibility through a process known as search engine optimization, or SEO for short. Now, if you know anything about search engine optimization, you know it generally takes anywhere from 3 months to 24 months to land on Google's front page and stay there. But recent discoveries by my partners and me have enabled us to pave the way for several of our clients as well as our own sites to land on Google's front page in as little as 24 hours for relevant keyword phrases. If that's relevant to you and your business, I highly encourage you to watch the rest of this video to learn how much a potential front page Google listing might be worth to you and your business.
Why would you want a front page Google listing in the first place? Well, let's look at some facts. 81% of internet users use search engines to find information on the products and services they want to buy. Think back to how you used to find out information about products and services you wanted to buy. You used to go get out the old dusty, trusty yellow pages. Not so much anymore. You go online these days. 85% of online sales began with a search query. Organic search listings convert 30% higher than pay-per-click listings. By organic listings, I mean the ones that you see on the left when you conduct a Google search or a Yahoo or a Bing search. Those are the ones on the left. The ones on the right are the ones that people had to pay money for. Organic listings generally capture 80% of the traffic, whereas 20% view the pay-per-click ads. So a lot more traffic out of the organic listings. Search engines deliver a lot of online visibility. You can go from an invisible local firm to a national and even a global firm practically overnight through search engines. They also deliver a lot of branding value. You can use search engines to help you with your branding campaigns. Search engines can level the playing field. You can compete toe-to-toe with a corporation that is 50 times, 100 times, even 1,000 times your size, and one that has a lot deeper pockets. You can go toe-to-toe with them through search engines if you know what you're doing. And then also search engines can deliver a lot of qualified prospects, because what happens when somebody conducts a search? That is a demand activity, demand generation activity. They are essentially asking to be marketed to at the moment they conduct a Google search, so you have a very interested audience. Before we jump into specific market data for your particular industry, let's look at some overall data that helps us back into the numbers that you are about to see. And this is information that wasn't supposed to get into our hands, thanks to our buddies over at America Online. Their mistake is definitely our gain, because back in 2006 they let some information get out based on their partnership with Google. So let's take a look at the statistics that we got from that. Here are the click-through rates for the first 10 positions for a search query or the search engine result page. You can see the number 1 position gets roughly 23% of the clicks, and the number 10 position gets a little over 1.632 to be exact. We also learned that 46% of search queries result in no clicks at all. So people either type in the web address directly that they see on a search result page, or maybe they type in the web address that they see in a pay-per-click ad to the right, or they go back and they conduct a different search query altogether. But as you can see, in correlation to the number of overall searches, there are the click-through rates for the top 10 for search result pages, right over there to the right. Don't want to keep hammering that over. Of the clicked results, we can now predict traffic with a reasonable level of confidence. It's not 100%, it's not a sure thing, but we have a pretty good idea that these numbers at least let us budget halfway intelligently, and we can also take from that, we can project website traffic that can then, based on our current metrics and conversion rates, we can back into some revenues and profits based on where we land on a search result page, preferably that front page. So let's talk about some specific market data to your industry. But it's good to understand this leaked data and what it means to the overall analysis. So what are we going to analyze? First, we're going to start with online competition. In other words, the number of competing pages for the search phrase that we're going to analyze. We're also going to look at the number of monthly searches. We can use Google's keyword tool to gain that information, which it's free. We're also going to look at the cost per click for each keyword phrase, so that way we know how much a pay-per-click campaign would cost for the same amount of traffic that we may gain from a front page Google listing. So that's what we're going to look at. Alright, so what are the values of the terms Scottsdale DUI lawyer or Scottsdale DUI attorney? First, let's look at the competition, traffic, and the cost per click if you were going to run a pay-per-click campaign. And for the record, these are two of the more expensive keyword phrases I've seen. For the term Scottsdale DUI attorney, it would cost you $36.54 per click to run a pay-per-click campaign through Google's AdWords. Now, that term generates about 880 searches per month. For the term Scottsdale DUI lawyer, it's $23 per click, and that term generates 720 searches per month. And there's a competition of about 92,600 competing pages for the term Scottsdale DUI lawyer. Scottsdale DUI attorney, very similar. Alright, so let's look at Scottsdale DUI attorney, since that's the one that costs $36.54 per click. If you were to get onto the front page of Google, and preferably in that #1 spot, you would generate about 202 visits or 202 people to your website for that #1 position. If you were going to run a similar pay-per-click campaign, that would cost you $7,381.08. For the 10th position, you would get 14 visits. For the same traffic through a pay-per-click campaign, you're going to have to pay out about $511.56. Now, I don't know anything about your business, but I'm going to make some assumptions here just for the sake of projecting some revenue and seeing what your ROI might be if you were to run an organic SEO campaign. Let's say that you generate 1,000 in sales for every new client, and you're converting 1 out of every 100 into a paying customer. For the #1 position, you would get 20 new customers a month, or about 20,000 in revenue. For the #10 position, 1 new customer, or $1,000 in revenue. Now let's look at Scottsdale DUI lawyer. As you can see, the #1 position would generate 165 visits. The same traffic for a pay-per-click campaign would cost you $3,795 because it's $23 per click. For the 10th position, you get 12 visits. For the same pay-per-click traffic, you would pay $276. Not bad. Again, same assumptions, $1,000 in new revenue per client. You convert 1 out of every 100 into a paying customer, so 1%. For the #1 position, 16 new customers, 16,000 in revenue. For the #10 position, again, 1 new customer or $1,000 in revenue. The beauty of it is, it's a good opportunity to rank well for both terms. So think of the implications of that.
Okay, so what'd you think? Pretty compelling story, isn't it? Here's the kicker. I'm only going to work with one person or one firm from your particular locale. So, what you're going to want to do is go to seninja.com/services and register right away so you can beat your competitors to the punch. Because, like I say, I'm only going to work with one particular firm from your particular locale. And understand that, as you saw in the video, I am reaching out to several competitors in each particular market. So, understand that your competitors are watching this video, and chances are one of them or one of you is going to take me up on this generous offer and start to get onto Google's front page in as little as 24 hours. Anyway, so I hope to see you soon. Again, that is seninja.com/services. You'll see the web address right under there. So anyway, this is Roger Bauer. Thanks for paying attention to today's video, and we will talk again very soon.